West Virginia head coach Rich Rodriguez, a few weeks after hiring his son, Rhett Rodriguez, to be the quarterback's coach, it was announced that he had hired his daughter, Raquel Rodriguez, as the assistant athletic director for football management and strategy. JB, I'm going to start with you, or we can start with me, either way, and kind of hear our thoughts on the hiring here of his family. I'll jump in. I'll say, bring on your people, bring on your family. When you work your way up and you have earned the power to be in certain positions to make decisions, you should bring on your people. I believe in nepotism. I believe in putting your people on. If I get put on, I'm gonna bring JB. I'm gonna probably bring Bailey. If Bailey can be on my side a little bit more, I'm gonna bring the homie Jew. I'm gonna bring the home, like that's what you're supposed to do. If I had kids, I'm gonna bring my kids with me. So shout out to Coach Rodriguez for putting on his son and putting on his daughter. And again, she's the assistant AD for football management and strategy. So to JB's point, JB has always made it clear he doesn't mind women working as like ADs and working in like, even like some more operational stuff. As long as it's not X's and O's for him, he's cool with that. Well, reading this title, assistant AD for football management and strategy. That's operational stuff to me. That's business. That's not X's and O's. That's not a coach. So for JB, I know you're gonna be on my side on this one. What say you?
Here's the issue I have, and I'm speaking for brothers that I've coached and black folks that I grew up with. Nepotism held brothers down in our profession, football, for years. Just fact. You should go do some research. Nepotism literally held black folks from getting jobs in my profession as a coach and player, for that matter, for as long as I could live. As long as I lived, homie.
True.
Now we got brothers advocating for it is what bothers me. And I don't, me, I think the best man should get the job. The bottom line is I've known a lot of brothers who got turned away for fucking white folks hiring their folks.
Right.
Well, this is the same thing, Smitty. He ain't black.
But the reason why we don't mind it is because
Ryan Clark will advocate for this all day, but he won't bring the fact of the matter is blacks are not getting jobs because of nepotism. It's been that way for 50, 100 years. And now you're okay with it, but it's crazy to me.
Because when we get jobs, though, we do the same thing now. Like, for example, didn't nobody want to touch Brian Flores after the shit went down with Miami Dolphins and Tua. Mike Thomas said, come on, brought him on board. You know what I'm saying? He knows he's a good-ass coach, probably looking out for another brother. That's just one example. My point is, like, we do it, too. So the reason why we don't care because we going to best believe we going to do it.
Let me dive into something real without getting into a big old fucking race war with idiots. Let me cook this fucking idiot real quick. So here's the issue. King David Cartel. Who speaks for brothers then? You? That has no fucking insight and no presence and no power? Are you doing it? See, when I do it, and I've actually sent 300 brothers to college and 25 to the league, but I can't say what I know to be truthful. But you, literally a nobody, does nothing for the black community, will talk shit about me because I'm white and I can't speak for brothers. Got it. That's the problem, homie. Y'all so blinded by ignorance that you won't even let a white man who likes to help brothers out try to help brothers out. That's how fucking blinded you are by ignorance. Come on, homie. It's 2025, dog. Get over it, King David Cartel. Your ignorance is life-threatening, homie. And the bottom line is you have no fucking idea what you're talking about. Because if it isn't for a white dude, by the way, there's 32 white owners in the NFL. If it isn't for one of these dudes to finally start advocating for brothers, then you're never going to have a brother in the NFL as an owner. I'm just keeping it funky. But you don't want to talk about that. You don't want to discuss the fact that we finally just got some black GM Smitty at the NFL level.
Mm-hmm. And we finally got Magic Johnson got a piece of ownership with the Commanders.
And you got a black female in Vegas. Now you got a black female now. That was all allowed because one of the 32 owners set up and said, you know what? We need to make this happen. All the white coaches that I've known, by the way, I haven't heard Smitty one time, for all you that talk shit, I haven't heard Smitty one time sitting up here talking about, hey, you know what? We got 2 brothers in the Super Bowl. Regardless of what happens, there's going to be a brother that wins the Super Bowl at quarterback. You all call this race baiting and all this old shit, but I ain't heard Smitty come out and advocate for that old crazy shit. I've seen Ryan Clark and all these motherfuckers pushing that agenda. Smitty ain't pushing that agenda. You know why? Because he played. Me and him don't give a fuck who wins. I didn't even think about it. I didn't even think about who wins the quarterback because you know what? Good for them. I've coached 30 black quarterbacks, you fucking idiots. I hope a black quarterback wins. But the bottom line is nobody gives a fuck. But the funny picture I saw was no matter what, a black quarterback's going to win, and Mahomes sitting there with a white girl, and Russell's sitting there with a white girl. But
Russell,
anyway.
you mean Jalen?
Anyway, I'm just saying, Smitty, ignorance is life-threatening, and we got to be honest. Like, come on, man. Like, let's stop pushing the bullshit. Nepotism's held brothers down as long as I could be in the profession, coaching and playing-wise, for guys they hire. Well, motherfucker hired Belichick's son, and I'm sitting there like, goddamn, Aaron Glenn's sitting out here getting passed by. Remember, time out. This is when Aaron Glenn got passed by Belichick to be his DB secondary coach for his son.
Right.
Who was sitting there.
It worked out in his favor. Stop it.
And all that old shit.
Stop.
But nobody talked about it. But I'm saying, Ryan Clark didn't talk about it. Nobody talked about it. Nepotism has held down this whole sport, homie, for a long, long time. That's why I never liked
There's no way to change it. There's you know what I'm saying? So that's why
but I'll never advocate. I'll never advocate for it. That's all I'm saying.
In the past, you put your people on. Now, you said moving forward, you would never hire the homie because of different reasons. But in the past, you've conducted it as well. Like, you've brought on your homies, black, white, whatever, but you had a relationship.
Hey, that's not the same, though. That's merit. Merit has to matter. There has to be some merit involved. My homies means they actually have some experience in the profession, though, and I just happen to know them. That's a normal thing in the profession and hiring. That's hiring at Walmart, Target. That's, you know him. I know, hey, Smitty, I know a guy if you really need a GM. That's normal. Nepotism is directly family.
You're saying like you have zero experience. It's your actual family, and like I think you're saying.
Like the Snyders did it forever at K-State, homie, and I knew guys getting passed by for his weirdo ass son. And I'm just telling you, the Snyders did it forever, and I know so many coaches that have done it, and it became so big, Smitty, that people don't know how this game works. Then certain states said no more nepotism hires. So you couldn't hire a guy in certain states like Kansas, Texas, Oklahoma. So what happened is it was so big that a guy like Snyder couldn't hire his son anymore. So guess what he did? He called his homie at Texas A&M, at Oklahoma, and said, hey, you take my son? Because it's a good old boy. It's a tight work network. And I'm going to call my boy, and now he's going to hire my son. Regardless of how you want to shape it or talk it, it's still nepotism. He got a guy, unexperienced job, taking another man's job that's experienced. That is the definition of a nepotism hire. The broad here, his daughter, I don't really care. She's in the office, like you said. I'm not really going to go into
I don't know what experience she has. She probably got a degree. She probably got a business degree. Like, whatever the qualification is to be a AD, she probably actually got it. But just so happened to also be family, the daughter of the coach. So that's going to put you on. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Like, I get it. It's tough. Life ain't fair. It ain't fair. But, again, if I'm in position to help my people out, then, yeah, skills matter. I'm not going to just put fucking anybody in a certain position. Like, you got to have some level of experience to show me that you got some sort of credibility to do something. But best believe I'm going to show favoritism to people who I mess with. That just is what it is. That's just life. You know what I'm saying? D Jones, D Jones is real when he in the chat. Just, I'm gonna throw this up there. I'm gonna leave it alone. He said when Smitty said exactly what JB did, y'all told him to stop being a victim. So we're gonna leave that there. He talking about previous arguments and conversations about nepotism that I've had on previous shows where everybody in the chat said I was stop being a victim. You crying about that. But then when JB said, they all clapping. It just shows how the haters be in the chat. So shout out to D Jones for just.
I lost. What I say? I'm checking. What I say?
To my knowledge, I believe D Jones is talking about your take on nepotism, which most people are agreeing with in the chat, including D Jones. He's saying he's making a comment that we've had a nepotism conversation previously, like a long time ago, and said that I have said similar things that you said in reference to another discussion. But during that time, the chat was coming at me saying, "Stop being a victim." Da, 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 da. But he's saying when you're saying it now, they're like applauding you. He just making a little note. That's all he's doing.
Yeah, but also I remember you were talking about nepotism, and you were correlating it with the Jason Whitlock hiring you at Fox, and that's not nepotism to me. You kept saying that's I know him. He got me in. I didn't have to. I didn't have experience.
I think is a better term for what he did, but it's still an ism.
Yeah, but it's not. But the difference is, it's not taking. You actually are. Let's say there's interns all the time that get jobs.
But I wasn't an intern, so you got to think about that. I was a full-time staff with benefits employee who was getting paid more than people that's been there for a minute. I'm just being.
No, I get it. What I'm saying is, there's interns that get jobs all the time. That's not a nepotism hire. What I'm saying is a nepotism hire keeps that intern from ever getting the job. Because the nepotism hire has no experience whatsoever, and it would have kept a Smitty from getting a job like that because they hired a nepotism family member. It happens all the time in football. I've seen it. Now it's coming around full circle, and everyone now is okay with it. I'll just never get on board with it because I know there's qualified people out here that have been grinding to get these jobs that are not easy to get, by the way. They don't fucking fall off trees. It's contrary to everybody out here's belief. Right. And then all you have to say from that point on is like, all right, damn, why should I still be in this business? I know guys that have been in the business 20 years, meaning never got an opportunity because of nepotism. And then after grinding for 20 years and helping kids behind the scenes, nobody got to see. And I know thousands of these people exist. Never got to see the guy behind the scenes helping these kids out. And then just say, fuck it, man. They hired fucking Raquel Rodriguez because daddy got the job. You know what? I'm going to go coach at Walmart. And I'm out the game. And then motherfucker leaves the coaching profession, dog. And at some point, that man has to make a decision that for their family or themselves, I ain't going to be able to fend off. I can't live too much longer this way. I'm not making no money. I'm only sacrificing and helping kids, which I did for 20 years also. So at some point, you're going to be like, fuck, man. Like,
but a real dog ain't going to do that, though. You didn't do that.
Nah, they will.
You didn't do that. All the all-time great coaches didn't do that because we know at the end of the day, say what you want. I still believe in hard work. You and I still believe in faith, and we still believe when you put both of them together at some point, it's going to align the right way. If you do the right thing, you have your faith right, whatever you believe in, and you work your ass off, the right opportunity is going to happen for you. Maybe it's the only point I'm making. Rodriguez got because that wasn't meant for you.
Yeah. Only point I'm making is that I know hundreds of guys that you don't, and you're not discussing, that lose opportunities that you'll never know about. Right. You can say all that shit about he's not a dog and he gave it up. I know thousands that did it for 20 years. At what point do you say enough's enough, homie? You just tell them I'm to go die?
Nah,
like, come on, dog, you gotta go get a job, homie. I'm talking in general.
I don't know the specifics. I'm just saying in general. And if you're doing something for 20 years,
you say broad shit, homie. You say a lot of broad shit that you don't really know about. I got guys that are right here, Smitty, at the cusp, trying to get in there for 20 years, working, grinding, sacrificing their fucking wives, leaving them because they just want to do this and get through the process. And you continue to hire Raquel and family members. At some point, homie, it's enough is enough. I gotta cut bait. I gotta go fend for my family and myself. And you're telling me, just keep going, homie. There's got to be a cutoff. And I know so many good coaches and overqualified guys that got fucked like this. That's all I'm saying. I'm giving you two perspectives. That's all I'm saying to the chat. And I know a lot.
Yeah, you got the experience, so I can't argue with that. It's just, I guess from my perspective, it's hard to believe that like you've been doing something for 20 years and you ain't getting no elevation. To me, it's other factors in that. Because I also know coaches now at this point, younger of course, that's been fucking moving in 5 years and 6 years, like quick. So it's like, and it's not no nepotism, it's not no family, ain't no nepotism because they're good at what they do and they work their way up. They're hustlers. So Again, I just wonder of those people who've been doing it for 15, 20 years and have not elevated. I'm curious of I'm curious of the context. Like, how great are they as a coach? What's their record? What's that? To me, there has to be more of that because you were a hell of a coach. You elevated, and you got a lot of coaches too that they were great coaches. They elevated. Like a lot of these guys who are popping now, the Dan Lanning's, the guy of the world. These are guys who you knew when they wasn't popping. They popping now. Why do they pop? Elevated, hustle, network, whatever they had to do, they figured out a way to climb that ladder. So my thing is, you as a hustler know better than anybody. You do something for 20 years and you're not elevated. I'm just curious of just. I got questions. Is all I'm saying. I got questions.
Yeah, you got questions. I actually have answers for every question you just asked that I'm just not going to get into right now. But I can tell you why Lanning moved up. I can tell you why, and you're not going to like it. And you're not going to like my answers, only because I know.
I want to hear it.
I hear you, but that could be another show by itself because I'm going to tell you, a lot of these cats did not earn it.
All right, well, thumbnail for tomorrow. The truth behind Dan Lanning and the rest of the coaches hired. We'll do it tomorrow.
I'm not calling Dan out. I'm not calling Dan out like that.